Hey everybody, it's your boy SergDragon and welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters Podcast. Today I'm going to be joined with Andre.
Yo.
And Mike Henry.
If you're ready for another episode of the Heavens Monsters Podcast, by the way, Chris is tested. He's back home.
Yeah, I see it.
As I said, if you're ready for another episode, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
If you're ready for another episode of the Heavens Monsters Podcast, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it on.
So we're going to do 2 episodes of Impact Wrestling, being that of June 2nd and June 9th, since we're behind. Woohoo. So let's go. You want to see later if I can add Chris to the podcast? You want to see if I can add him right now?
No, let's just do.
You're thinking it? You got caught off there for a second there. Let's just do it, you said?
Let's just do it without him.
Okay. Alright. So, we start the night. Hold up. Yep. Trey, oh, hold up. Damn. I'm getting this mixed up. Ah, there you go. Before the night starts, it was Impact Wrestling noting the fact that Black Lives Matter. And then after that, we had Kiera Hogan developing a new relationship with newcomer Tracer Steele, leading to the two of them taking out, yeah, that's right, Kylie Ray and Susie backstage.
Did you say Tina Steele?
Tessa Steele. I said, I made a mistake.
No, it's Tasha.
Oh, it's Tasha. Tasha. Okay. Tasha Steele. My bad.
Tasha. Tasha.
I'm reading it like it is. I'm saying Tessa. Tasha.
Like Sasha Banks. Now I got Tasha Steele.
Mm-hmm. In which case, that matchup would be made. It would be Kylie trading blows with Tasha Steele, kicked off the night. And there was a lot of hair pulling. God damn. They went back and forth. And they ended up winning the match. Nice. Right? That's what it says. Oh, no, never mind. Kiera Hogan defeated Susie Viva pinfall. It said they're just getting started, so I thought they won. This is 2 weeks ago, so excuse me. My memory's a little foggy. Next up, backstage, we have Ace Austin was interviewed for an upcoming match against Trey. Well, of course, he asked if he lose to Willie Mack. We ignored question. Moose came and congratulated him on his getting 2 big wins over Rhino and Hernandez. And that TNA World Championship would be a better suit than going for that second-rate Impact title. And he can't take him seriously. He's like, what? Nah. Because that title has no value. Right now, it's Impact Wrestling, not TNA Wrestling. Ace considered it, though, before walking off. Okay, that's part 1. Here's part 2. What did you think about Susie losing to Kiera Hogan? Andre?
Yeah, not right so far. Good job on losing.
You, Mikey?
About what?
Susie losing to Kiera Hogan?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe that Susie lost to the girl on fire.
Fire. Mm-hmm. Next, we have Jake and Dave Chris were struggling to find their path when Sammy Callahan and Madman Fulton both left the group. So Joshua P. Ryan intervened, asking the two of them to join him this week for his match with Unwell Steve. That's his way of calling him Crazy Steve, because in his mind, the word crazy is offensive. All right. Yep. Next match is Joseph P. Ryan with OVE going up against Crazy Steve on Impact. It'll be a one-on-one heated match until the results of Joseph P. Ryan getting the win. The super kick put Steve away. Yeah, with a super kick that put him for the 3 count. After which, Jake Chris and Dave Chris would be asked one question. Will you betray? In which case, Dave Chris said no. He's not going to betray his brother. But Jake Chris did, leaving poor Dave in the ring alone. OVE is completely now dismantled, because Jake Chris has joined the cancer culture. Your thoughts, Andre?
Pretty good, I guess.
You, Mikey?
About what?
Crazy Steve losing to Joseph P. Ryan and Jake Chris deciding to join cancel culture?
No, zero comment.
Ah.
Go on without me. I got some late night chores.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back.
All right, then, bud. No problem. We then have Rahit Raju going up against Chase Stevens. In this match, Rahit Raju was determined to win, but alas, he didn't get the job done. Frustrated, aftermath, Rahit called himself the most underrated wrestler in the world. However, as he turned around, he was then met with a gore, gore, gore by Rhino. Your thoughts on that, Andre?
It was fairly decent, you know.
Backstage, Nirvana finally revealed why she turned up at Impact Wrestling. After what happened to Father James Mitchell, she knew she had to check on her longtime friend, because Havoc is a terrifying and unpredictable force on her own. Instead, Impact Wrestling's Knockouts division has to deal with the horrifying duo of Havoc and Nirvana. As I was saying to my friends before, these two are no strangers. Case in point, why they mentioned that is because in Women of Wrestling, aka WOW, these two were known as the Monsters of Mayhem. In these two women, they were dominant in the tag team division. So now that they are here in Impact Wrestling, the Monsters of Mayhem may just make a new career in Impact. Your thoughts on that, Andre? Andre? Hello? Andre!
Huh?
I was wondering, where were you at?
Who, me?
What do you think about the Monster of Mayhem making their appearance with Havoc and Nirvana?
It's pretty cool.
What you watching?
Oh, no, if I want to see those guys beat up SergDragon and Mikey.
Ha ha.
That'll be fun to watch.
we have another edition of Locker Room Talk with Chris Bay, Joey Ryland's partner. Oh, what's he going to do? He couldn't shut up. Good Lord. Joey Ryan couldn't shut up talking about his buddy and how he's going to improve and follow him and all that. What the hell? Madison Square. What? Oh, my cable box just went out. Okay, it's back. Yeah, that's just all talk here. Okay, next. Next up, we have the number one contendership for the Rascals against TJP and Falaba. This was an interesting match, to say the least, because of the fact that since it was an empty stadium, we had Falaba wanting to enter the show first. And then PJP was arguing with him, so it was funny to watch, especially when Dex and Fala were having fun in the ring, and he's like, "You're impressing me." Oh, now you're just making me mad. Ultimately, it would be the surprising ending. I gotta say the least. Surprising ending of where Dex was struggling to get to the ropes and finally did. And right when you looked like you were going to tag in, instead, his boy Wince, pushed him, and I'm like, what's going on? He goes for a bridge to actually pin TJP right there on the spot, and it works. Your number one contenders are now the Rascals. Ain't that a trip?
Ain't that something?
Valerius arrives, makes her debut with Impact Wrestling in the 7 short days. That Knockout division is hard to top, especially with Pranzana on board. Okay. Woo-woo. We saw some footage of Johnny Bravo and Rosemary on a date. Woo. Ultimately, it would be interesting to the fact that Rosemary is constantly trying to woo him because of the fact that the tarot card said that she's supposed to get a fool in the form she figured is Johnny Bravo. But I guess there's some semblance to the biting the apple, because once Johnny Bravo bites that apple, I guess he joins her. But sadly to say, Taya Valkyrie was on the call and distracted him from actually biting the apple, and he ran straight towards her to answer her call. And she's like, dang it, so close. We get a promo of Michael Elgin calling out Sami Callihan. Big Mike claims that he was the rightful Impact Wrestling champion well over a year. Blah, 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 blah. In which case, instead of Sami Callihan, Ken Shamrock, after the effects of Sami Callihan made its appearance, Ken Shamrock comes in wanting to kick Michael Elgin's ass for dropping him with a steel chair weeks ago. He wants a fight. Last part. We have the finals for Trey and Ace Austin one-on-one. Whoever wins becomes the number one contender for the Impact Wrestling Championship. But to no avail, the Rascals find Trey knocked out. And the first thing that comes to mind in the face of Wint is the one who knocked him out was Ace Austin. So he goes to the arena while Ace Austin is trying to stake claim that because he has no opponent to face, that he should be automatically named number one contender. Here comes Wentz kicking his ass, and the officials, let me see, Scott D'Amore, coming down to settle things. D'Amore made a decision putting Wentz in Trey's place for the number one contendership. This match would go hard. I mean hard. Wentz went crazy on Ace Austin, but to no avail. Ace Austin ended up getting the win with the fold finishing move and is number one contender. And that ends. Wait, does that end tonight? Let me see. Was there anything else? Yeah, that went on for a while. Yep. In addition to that, we get an interesting promo at the very end of the night where it showcases that a lot of wrestlers in the wrestling biz had to be let go thanks to this epidemic, the COVID-19, coronavirus. Ultimately, though, we get this idea that something's going to happen in Impact because of these results, but we don't know too much. Your thoughts on that, Andre?
It's crazy, man. I wish this pandemic wasn't going on right now,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Everything gets back to normal,
Let's hope so, bro. Let's hope so. A shout out to our fellow brethrens, the Heavens Monsters podcast. We have Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, and Andre Mitchell. A link to their YouTube channels will be in the descriptions down below, as always. And a remaining shout out to Chris Petrie, T-Money, Renee, Pharaoh, and Delvin. About to say Delvin before. Let me get this set up. Yep. June 9th. Impact Wrestling. Let's go. We start the night with a triple threat match. We have Sami Callihan going up against Michael Elgin and Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock can't wait. He jumps Michael Elgin, and then all of a sudden, Sami Callihan appears out of nowhere, just waiting for this to have his turn. Finally, all three start duking it out as one after the other. Ken Shamrock repeatedly trying to beat or tap Elgin and Callihan. Sadly, for the unexpectedness of the triple threat rules, the chairs were involved and thrown in and hit on Sami Callihan, throwing him out of the ring and taking a chair to Ken Shamrock and then putting a power bomb or Elgin bomb on poor Ken Shamrock. Ultimately, the winner is Michael Elgin. Your thoughts, Andre?
Yeah, good so far.
Sounds like Mikey's still doing chores. We have the returning Knockouts Women's Champion, Jordynne Grace, as well as the former Women's Knockouts Champion, Taya Valkyrie, coming back from quarantine. So now, after this little chat, Jordynne Grace wants competition, while Taya Valkyrie wants a rematch. And she says, let's fight tonight. Not tonight. So, apparently, a match for next week. Oh, wait. Never mind. Yeah. That was last week. This week, Jordynne Grace ends up going against Taya Valkyrie. And she is desperately looking for Johnny Bravo throughout last week. on the 2nd while she's found Johnny Bravo and has Rosemary. She goes to the bar and she's asking him that she needs Johnny Bravo to make sure that she wins this match. But to make the offer, Rosemary then said, you know what? Why not we do this together? And she already said she is happy to know that she's going to have Rosemary in her corner as she hoped she would finally would. So that's going to be fun. Your thoughts on that, Andre?
Let's get it on, man. I'm ready to see that, all of that, man. Let's go versus Sergio getting beat up.
Oh, hush.
Sergio gonna get his butt kicked by girls, man. That would be funny to see.
There's some badass girls, man. Don't underestimate them.
I wouldn't mind seeing them in some bikinis, though. That would be nice.
No bikinis. That era is long gone.
Oh, come on, man. You know I want to see some girls in bikinis, Sergio. You know the drill, buddy. You do, too.
Yeah, you want to see them, but they're going to kick your ass. You better watch it.
You know you want to see some girls in bikinis, Sergio. Don't you deny it, man. Come on. Sergio, come on, buddy. Yep, there you go.
Next, we have Susie going up against Tasha Steele. I'm about to say Tesha again. Tasha Steele ends up getting the win on Susie thanks to the outside interference of Kiera Hogan. They end up taking their butts backstage and ultimately running into Monsters of Mayhem, Havoc, and Nirvana. They ultimately said that they have no problem putting up their fists up and putting in a match. Excuse me, I had to stretch. So, they already had a match. Well, Tasha did. They said they ain't gonna worry about that right now. So something tells me they're gonna have a match next week between Tasha Steele, Kiera Hogan versus Havoc and Nirvana. Monsters of Mayhem. Woo! That's gonna be good. We then have a sit down with Vince and Dez. I call him X for some reason. Because his name was Xavier or something. Well, Dez and Vince were talking about having an ultimate opportunity to be number one contenders for the tag team, and Vince having a number one contendership. He would have been double number one contender. Trey comes in and they start shutting up because of the fact that it's kind of sour grapes on what happened to Trey, because even he doesn't know who jumped him, and he's asking them, who jumped me? They're like, we don't know. We didn't see him. I thought it was Ace Austin, but I don't know. He says, no, dude, I saw Ace Austin in the restroom. Damn. Then who was it? We then have the North showing up and making accusations on behalf of Vince, saying that who gained the most out of this. And the one he's saying is Vince was the one who jumped him. It's like, no, he's my brother, man. I ain't doing that. You know I wouldn't. So it's literally confusing in every sense of the word as to where this is going. For the Rascals. Yeah, I saw that. Also, in addition, we would have a big announcement involving the Impact World Championship. Ace Austin being interviewed, suggesting that knowing that Tessa Blanchard hasn't been around, stuck in Mexico, that knowing that the fact that she is not going to be involved, that they're going to name him the new Impact World Champion. So that would be later tonight. As well as Moose makes his opinions on that interview, saying that his title would be named number one because the Impact title. And Austin just walks off, and Hernandez gets up in Moose's face saying that, hey, you want an opponent next week? I'll fight you. So it will be Hernandez versus Moose for the TNA World Championship. I was like, okay. They're still making that going around. Didn't I just read this? Yep. There we go. Chris Bay then demands Willie Mack to start a match with him. Then immediately tags out. Okay, yeah, it would be Jake Diener and Willie Mack going up against Johnny Swinger and Chris Bay. In this match, it would be left and right between these guys. Honestly, it was kind of, it was iffy to say the least. And what is that? Is that your doggy? Aw, that's a cutie. Is it a boy or girl? Ultimately, he's sniffing the phone. Is it a he or she?
Boy.
He's a boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Ultimately, a stunner would be applied onto Swinger, and thus Willie Mack and Jake Diener won the match. Sour grapes, of course, happen, and Chris Bay and Johnny Swinger jump both Jake Diener and Willie Mack. Coming to the rescue is none other than Cody Diener, and Jake and Cody are looking at each other like, Jake? Cody? They're about to hug it out, and then they remember social distancing. And they fist bump. They're celebrating while in the ring, while Chris Bay and Johnny Swinger are ultimately just walking off, mad as hell, knowing that they lost and didn't get this final say. We then have Scott D'Amore, one of the big officials in Impact Wrestling right now. He goes ahead and talks about what is going to happen with the Impact Wrestling Championship match at Rebellion. Sadly to say, we didn't see Austin coming out trying to play cool, saying that he knows what the news is going to be, so go ahead and tell him that he missed his cue. Then we get Michael Elgin involved, and he says that he is the rightful number one contender and he should be champion. The return of Eddie Edwards makes an appearance and says that in Impact, you aren't just given anything. You have to fight for it. We then hear Ace Austin mouthing off saying, nah, that's not what's going to happen. I'm going to be given that title because I went through a hellacious tournament and I don't even get a freaking title shot. No, you're going to hand me that title. Scott Diener then says that it's going to be a fatal 5-way at Rebellion against these 4 men. And he's like, cause he made fun of his fatness and he said, thank you for pointing that out, but you're an idiot for thinking that you were just going to get handed that title. Woo-hoo-hoo. So then he goes and says, you idiot, you can't even count. There's only 3 of us in this ring. But, oh, that's no problem. Turn around and you'll see. Here comes Trey, the guy who got jumped, not knowing who it was, but he's ready to fight Ace Austin. And it's a 4-way dance between Eddie Edwards, Michael Elgin, Trey, and Ace Austin. And it leaves on, well, actually the show still continues on that part, I think. Yep, still continues. We then have the return of RVD and his girl, Dinera Prozano. I had pronunciation problem here. Wait. Oh, never mind. Wrong name. They were waiting for the new Knockouts wrestler. They can't find her. Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes. There she is. That's her name. Katie Forbes. Big booty girl.
Nice.
But she's hiding that booty. She's hiding that booty because of cancel culture. With their new member. I know. In which case.
You can hang with that too.
In which case, cancel culture with Joseph P. Ryan introduces the new member, Jacob Chris. Instead of Jake Chris, it's just Jacob Chris. And he goes up against Crazy Steve. Sadly to say, thanks to Joseph P. Ryan interfering in that match, Jake Chris ended up winning. And they raised their hands high together. Daggone. Saying that cancel culture is getting bigger and stronger. Next up, we have the title opportunity. Yeah, title match. It's not a title opportunity. Against Jordynne Grace and Taya Valkyrie. In this match, it was back and forth between these two women, and damn, that was a good match. Until the end came around, where Taya Valkyrie was asking for help, cheating. But Johnny Bravo was distracted by Rosemary, wooing him. Ultimately, in this point, Jordynne Grace introduces a new, the Kimura clutch is a choke submission hold. And she made Taya Valkyrie tap out. Still, your Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. After the match, the new woman Knockouts talent, Deanna Puerez, aka Virtuosa, makes an appearance and wants to shake the hand of the champion. Only to be deceived, knowing that the fact that she actually, as soon as she went in for the handshake, Jordynne Grace is on the floor. Andre left the room. He must have had to go do something. Yeah, no heads up. In which case, the armbar is shown very effective on Jordynne Grace. As Jordynne Grace screams to let go, she is then released. Will this woman truly be the one to get the next title shot? As far as I can tell, both my Andre left the room, so it would be seem that I am by myself. Are you still there, Mikey? Doesn't sound like it. Alright. With that said, I'll go ahead and end this video, y'all. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't give it a thumbs down. Hit the subscribe button, like the content, and hit that notification bell for the next Seven Monsters Podcast video. I'm SergDragon, and I'm by myself right now. This is why I like doing it with my friends, because it's kind of boring by myself. I guess I got an opinion. Case in which, I'll see you guys later. Bye.